good. It's all good. Living, loving, living, it's all good. I'm loving, living, it's all good. Living, living, it's all good. I'm loving, living, it's all good.
Hey, welcome to It's All Good. I'm Adam Cox, live from Wichita, Kansas, along with my best friend and co-host, Dr. Eric Lane. How's Tucson, Arizona?
We're nice, 95 and beautifully sunny today, so great day.
Love it. Well, my mother-in-law is living with us, and the weather is incorrect because her breathing is incorrect because the weather is terrible weather. And I'm telling you, I was outside with my shirt off. It's about 76 with a little bit of wind. It couldn't be any better.
Can we bring Patty on? Is there a way? Now, you're
Yes.
recording from a different studio. Where are you
Yes.
recording from?
I'm down in the basement. Patty can't go up and down the stairs. I don't think so. Next time we record, It's All Good, I'll record it upstairs so we can get Patty on to give you some words of encouragement. Okay,
We need
how about
Patty's
that?
moments or Patty's priceless gems every week.
That would be fantastic. She's a ratings getter. I can tell you that from being on my radio show.
I remember years ago when Patty was on your show and you were living here and she was here, and I called up the house to let her know that they were coming over to was it a swimming pool that she needed to move furniture around the house, and we'd be over there fairly soon. And
You were putting
concerned.
you called her and said we're putting a swimming pool in the living room that she had to move the couch, and she goes, I have asthma, I can't move the couch, and why are they putting a pool in the living room? Who does that? Oh my gosh, I had tears. But Patty, we love her, and she's just the weather is not great for her breathing out here. So that's what I got this morning. That's a different perspective. No, you and I were talking about perspectives earlier. We'll talk about perspectives later on, but everybody's got a different perspective. If I think 76 and windy is fantastic and it's terrible for somebody else, then what can you do? You know what I mean? But I want to kick off this It's All Good podcast talking about trying something new. And I guess I'm the type of person that if I see something and I figured there's no way I would like that, so I've stayed away from it for 48 years, right? So my wife says that she wanted to go to an opera. She's told me she's wanted to go to an opera for years. And I said, I can't sit through an opera. I just probably can't sit through it. It's not for me. It's other people love it, and that's great. Everybody's got their own thing. She goes, I just want you to take me to opera one time. And I thought, okay. So finally, last night was the night. There was an opera here in Wichita, something Butterfly, Madam Butterfly. And so they start singing, and the guy that's conducting is incredible. The music's incredible. The singing is incredible, but it's all in subtitles. So you got to kind of look up and then you look down. And I thought to myself, when I was sitting there in the opera, first time ever in my whole life being in an opera, I thought, oh my gosh, let me just sit back and try to enjoy this. And I sat back and I listened to the music, and it was beautiful, and the story was great. And I thought to myself, I've missed out on all these years of enjoying something like this because I fought myself saying there's no way I would want to do something like this. And the truth of the matter is, I figured out that there's certain things in life that I think everybody should try at least once, because you don't know if you're going to like it or not. I think that's kind of the message that I wanted to share a little bit today.
That story it brings me to a story I think you've heard about, the man that was getting ready to go on a cruise, and he saved his money up for years. It took him 15 or 20 years to go on this cruise he had wanted to go to his entire life. So he packs all of his food, cans of food, and he does everything he needs to, brings it to his room. He has extra suitcase actually for his food. And during the entire cruise, he watches these people go to these extravagant dinners and these buffets and all of these things while he's eating his canned food, and how wonderful it would be if he could have enjoyed that as well. He just didn't have enough money, he thought. And it's the final day of the cruise, and one of the servers comes up and says, why don't you join us for this big dinner? And he says, well, I don't have enough money. I've got all my food in my cabin. And the man says, this is all part of the cruise. All the food you want, all the drinks you want have been part of the cruise. So he goes an entire cruise, and he doesn't enjoy the benefits. And just like you said, in life many times, our paradigms or the way that we see the world limits our ability to enjoy that journey and that ride, because somewhere, somehow, we got it in our mind that would not be a good experience, or that would be a painful experience. I did the same thing you did when I lived in London for 2 years. I never would have gone to a theater production like Les Mis or Phantom. But while I was there, I had to go a number of times, and I absolutely love the theater now. So try things that you think you may not like. And a lot of times you'll find that there's a lot of joy in some of those things.
I totally agree, and yeah, it was amazing. And now I like my wife's like, we got to go again. I was like, absolutely, let's go again. I'm all for it now. So, okay, so I want to give you a couple of really good stories because I know in life, we turn on the news and it's terrible. I mean, literally the other night I turned on the news and it was 6 crazy stories after another that you turn it off and you're depressed. You're like, why did I watch that? Right. So on our show, we like to give you good stories. There's a lot of good things that are going on in our world. One of the first ones is a 7-year-old girl. Now, this 7-year-old girl is missing a hand, and she got a 3D printed hand. And she's been going around to baseball saying that she wants to throw out the first pitch at Major League Baseball games, even though she's got a 3D printed hand. And she's 7 years old, and a couple of teams had said, okay, you can do that. Well, she just got the call. She's going to throw out the first pitch at the World Series, which is the biggest baseball game of them all. And she's going to have the most impact by showing, people can do anything that you set your mind to. And I think that's her message is, look, I got a 3D printed hand and I can still throw out the first pitch, even though I don't have a real hand. With those kinds of stories, I just feel like that's something that if it was me, I would put those kinds of stories on the news. Another one, Eric, is a blind man. Think about this. This guy's the same age as me. He's 47 years old, 48 years old. He's blind. And we always take that for granted. If you can see and you can hear and you can walk and you can talk and you can smell, think about all the people in the world that can't do that, right? I think about that all the time. And so this guy's blind, and he actually adopted blind triplets and to teach them the way of how to handle themselves being blind and teach them. So blind man hires or adopted 3 blind kids. These kids have grown up to be fantastic people. They're now 18 years old, and they said, I just want to thank him for being the best person he could have been. He taught us everything that we could know. So think about that. Would I be willing to adopt a bunch of kids when you're blind, and they're blind? How do you deal with that? The last story is this, another great story. Tennessee mother of 5. Think about that. Your wife's got 5 kids, right?
Well, we both have 5 children, but she bore 5 children.
She's the mother of 5. So she could probably relate to this. Tennessee mother of 5 is going to this church. She's got 5 kids. There was a lady in her church that's got type 2 diabetes and was letting herself go. And she had a kidney disease, and she needed a kidney to stay alive. Well, she'd only been going to that church for 2 months. And this mother of 5 decided that she would donate her kidney to this member of her church to save her life. And I thought to myself, man, a mother of 5, you got so much stuff you got to be responsible for. You're a mom, you got these kids, and here you are almost to a stranger at church. You've known her for like 2 months, and you give her one of your kidneys. These kinds of stories are inspirational to me. They give me hope. And in a world where it's crazy, there are great stories, and you'll always be able to get them right here on It's All Good. Anything come to mind when I mention those stories, Eric?
Well, it reminds me in a little bit of a way when Lloyd in Dumb and Dumber 2, he was going to give Harry a kidney. I don't know if you remember that. And he went off to Mexico, and he thought that he had a kidney in his igloo, but I think it was just a pork chop. But
it turned out not to be
in a comical way, but Lloyd's heart was in the right place for Harry.
Yes, it was. He would have done it, right?
That's right. He went through the surgery and everything.
I would donate anything I have, but my stuff's all damaged, so nobody's going to want mine anyways. So let's talk about the challenge this week. People that are watching It's All Good, they need to be challenged. We need something that's going to help us in our lives to be better. Dr. Eric Lane, I mean, you're an author, you're a speaker, you are a physical specialist. What comes to mind this week? What are we going to talk about to help people out?
We talked a little bit this week about a challenge, but my mind, something just hit me a little bit differently because it's sort of a prompting of what I think we all need. And it's sort of what I just went into there with Dumb and Dumber. This week, one of the things that creates a lot of trauma in our lives is just life. We don't need events. We especially don't need news, and we don't need programming that's negative, because there's a lot of things that hit us every day. As parents, we're stressed out. You know, you're only as happy as your most unhappy child. So the challenge this week would be, in good taste, try to find programming that makes you laugh. That's one of the things I've done for many years because that's sort of my escape, and it helps us sleep better, we know. So I'm a Seinfeld junkie. If I want to watch 20 or 30 minutes, hit Hulu or something. Or if we watch a movie, last night we watched Big Mama's House. You will find that if you watch funny movies and if you surround yourself with entertainment that's funny, and when I say look for things that are not crude, and you know, there's some funny things out there that your children can't watch. Watch something you'd watch with your children. You'll see a dramatic impact in the way you wake up in the mornings. You'll see an impact in the way your children wake up. People with cancer that have gone on to overcome this dreaded disease, you'll find a commonality in most of them. They surrounded themselves with positive people, and they surrounded their environment of media with positiveness. So just try it for a week. Instead of watching the drama that you normally watch, there's something funny that you like to watch. Start watching that through the week, and you'll notice that your mentality will change. Your love and compassion, a lot of things will change because it does change us physiologically. So that would be my challenge this week.
All right, so let's think about it. What's the funniest movie that's made you cry laughing to where the point where you're just like, oh my gosh, it's too much?
You know, anything Vince Vaughn is in, I think is funny. He's been getting hammered the last 10 years because they say nothing's funny, but I think everything he does, I think he's funny. It's just his attitude. So there are certain characters that I watch that make me laugh all the time.
I remember going to the movies with my friend Eddie, and Eddie's got this laugh that is a cackle. Now, the only thing that I need to do is to make him laugh, because then when he laughs, I laugh. So something on the screen or an actor, that doesn't even have to make me laugh. I just have to be around him and watch how much joy he gets out of something and watch how he falls apart cackling, which then makes me cackle. And he watched, what's the one with Leslie Nielsen, Naked Gun?
Yeah.
So I watched him. So literally we were at the movies and I didn't even watch the movie. I watched Eddie watch the movie. And as he watched the movie and was falling out of his chair, I literally sat there and had tears in my eyes watching him cackle. Because I know everybody's probably all upset and everybody's making a spectacle of himself. And I could not stop. So to me, actually, I could actually be around certain people to where I'm thinking about my friend Lance, who opens his mouth and he just cracks me up. So that's another thing. If it's not a movie, just get around people that will make you laugh.
Yeah, we had, my good friend here, Satish Hiremath. He's actually the mayor of Oro Valley. We went to an empty theater, my wife and him, and my wife's another one that will laugh, and her laugh is so loud that people are turning around looking to see what's wrong. But we went to the Love Guru. And Satish, you can just tell by his name, he's of Indian descent, even though he didn't live there. Yeah. Just to sit in that movie, I watch it over and over again, and for him to laugh at parts that maybe I didn't fully understand, that's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen because of the person that I was with, the environment, and understanding from his perspective. But there's just so many things to laugh about. And we did an episode a few weeks ago that talked about the physiological effects of laughing.
And smiling too, right? Yeah.
If you just laugh 2 or 3 times a day, a good old belly laugh, you will actually heal up in ways that you could never do with anything else. So it is so healthy for us to laugh and to program laughter in our days, to find things that make us laugh, especially after a stressful day. Get around people that are funny and laugh.
I love it. I was just thinking about that, Lance, the other day, just thinking about his laugh. And as I'm driving down the street, I'm busting up laughing and nobody's even around. And I just start dying laughing. But then for the next 6 or 7 hours, I was in the best mood just because of that. So that's great advice. Thank you, Dr. Eric. Thank you guys for watching. It's all good. We'll see you next time.
It's all good. It's all good.